right, so let's talk a bit about the iterative design process. I love to always start off a design with very small thumbnail sketches. One of the great things I love about this project is that the brief was very open. It was more about keywords that Matt and James wanted to convey to the audience, which is fear and very visceral and powerful. And the great thing is we didn't know if we were going to build it off of a base of a car or fabricate a new one. And for me, every good car design starts with a signature, and that signature is always the side profile. A side profile is where everything kind of comes from, and then you can go and iterate on the front and the rear and the top and so on and so forth. But a great car design for me always starts off with the side. So it always comes from a very rough, simple design basis, which has just the signature of a car where everything kind of lines up and where the wheels align and how everything kind of comes together. I'm a self-taught artist in general, and I'm a self-taught designer. So my approach always just kind of comes from finding it and seeing what works for me personally, and everything kind of comes from there. So to talk about the kind of design process, my first pass on sending over the designs to James and Matt to review was I submitted these quick viewpoints just to get a basic idea as to what they were looking for and give a nice wide range. This stuff is done very quickly, and I'm trying to get a touch point to see where Matt's head's at, where he's at with the project, what he feels connected to, what he thinks it's going to be, and so on and so forth. This is it's like a dance that you do with the creative minds, and you kind of put everything together and you throw a bunch of ideas out there, and ultimately we're all in service to Matt and the story in which he's created and the world that he's created. So for me, it was a matter of just trying to find where this all fits inside of the story. This was one of the first concepts that I had come up with, and big thanks to James for like just letting me play and find a resolve. But what was cool about this is that Matt and James really didn't want to redo the past and didn't want to pay homage or get anywhere close to the brilliance of the Tumbler, which is an awesome design. So that design was kind of ex-nayed. Same with this one. And I'm always trying to infuse the insignia throughout the design as much as possible. Ultimately, I think probably a really effective Batmobile would just be a super gnarly tank, six-wheel tank kind of concept. And this is just like a very simple, brutal form, and this is a brutalist approach to it, which is really fun. Again, it's just a matter of finding that signature and seeing what lines and shapes work and finding those things that cut through and all that good fun stuff. And who wouldn't love a six-wheeled Batmobile? Again, my language and design kind of comes from just an array of just random things that I love. I love the Tyrrell six-wheeled concept. Is such a cool concept. So that was kind of like taking that and then turning it into some sort of weaponry tank. That'd be a lot of fun. These are just rough concepts and iterations that I do. And the reason why I use CGI is because it's so versatile. It's such a quick way to show things in dimensional quality that you can go, hey, what do you think of this? And is this strong enough? Is this working for you? Is this find the themes? And so on and so forth, which is really important. When I look back at these designs, I think that there's some pretty cool and interesting, weird things going on here. And maybe perhaps someday I'll do some iterations on these because they're really fun to kind of whip up. This is the essence of the first pass that I did and sent over. And this created a really good conversation for James and Matt to have, and then for us to get closer and to find what eventually became the final design for the Batmobile.